Hi dear students, welcome to my YouTube channel, Enjoy Learning Computer Science. This is Athena DJ here, going to explain about functions in Python. So let's discuss about the rules for combining the different types of arguments, call by value and call by reference mechanisms, the different types of functions and function calls. This video is part 3 of functions. Come on, let's dive into the topic. In our previous video, we discussed about the different types of arguments, right? So what are the different types of arguments? Positional arguments, keyword arguments, and default arguments. Now let's see what are the rules to be followed while combining the three different types of arguments. Okay, so an argument list must contain positional arguments first, followed by any keyword arguments. Okay, and keyword arguments should be taken from the required arguments preferably, and you cannot specify, you cannot give a value for an argument more than once inside the argument list. So these are the rules to be followed while combining the three different types of arguments. Let me demonstrate an example for combining all the three types of arguments in a function call. Okay, for that first let's define a function called average, which has three parameters in it, n1, n2 and n3 is equal to 100. So n3 is equal to 100 is default value we have assigned in the function definition itself, and that is a return statement. Now let's see the different function calls and let's find out whether these function calls are legal or illegal. Okay, the first one is average. N1 is equal to 20, N2 is equal to 40 and N3 is equal to 80. This one is legal because all the arguments are keyword arguments. Okay, so the names of the parameters are used in the function call to assign the value for it. So this one is legal, right? And the next one is average. N3 is equal to 10, N2 is equal to 7, N1 is equal to 100. This is also legal because all the three arguments are keyword arguments. Even if we change the order of the keyword arguments, it doesn't matter. So hence this is also legal. And then average 100, N2 is equal to 10, N3 is equal to 15. This one is also legal. We have combined positional arguments and keyword arguments, but positional arguments comes before the keyword arguments, hence this is legal. Then the next one is average. N3 is equal to 70, N1 is equal to 90, 100. Here the positional arguments comes after the keyword arguments, hence it is illegal. Okay, then the next one average 100, N1, 23, N2 is equal to 1. So first N1 assigns the value 100. Next N1 is equal to 23. N1 is already assigned the value 100. So here multiple values provided for N1, hence it is illegal. Then the next one average 200, num2 is equal to 9, n3 is equal to 1. This is illegal because num2 is an undefined parameter or argument. Okay, and the last one average 300, n3 is equal to 900. Here a required argument n2 is missing, hence it will raise an error. Now let's learn about call by value and call by reference mechanism. Okay, so call by value means the function makes a separate copy of the passed values and then it will work with the copy so that the original values will not get changed. The original values remain unchanged. Okay, so this is call by value mechanism. Call by reference mechanism is the function works with the original values passed to it. So any changes made to that values will affect the original values also. That is call by reference mechanism, right? Now immutable data types implement call by value mechanism. That means in a function call, if you are passing immutable values, immutable means the values cannot be changed, example integers or strings. Okay, so when a function is called by passing immutable values, then those values cannot be changed, right? So it will make a copy, and it will the changes can happen only in the copy. It will not affect the original values. So immutable types implement call by value mechanism, but mutable types means can be changed. So call by reference will work with the original values, so any changes will affect the original values also, right? Hence mutable types implement call by reference mechanism. Okay, there are two types of Python functions. Okay, one is non-void functions and the other one is void functions. Non-void function means functions returning some values, that is non-void functions, and functions that does not return any value will come under void functions. Okay, so there are two types of functions, void functions and non-void functions. Void functions does not return any value and non-void functions return some value. Now how to return a value from a function? We have a statement called return statement. We have studied in the first part of the function itself, right? Do you remember? Return statement is optional in a function, right? So let's see the syntax of a return statement. So return, then you have to specify the value. Look at the example, return, the value it's returning here is simple interest. Okay, now the value being returned can be in any one of the form. The value returned can be a literal, or it can be a variable, or it can be an expression. I'll demonstrate return statements with some example. Okay, look at the first return statement, return 50. Here in this return statement, a value is being returned. Okay, the next one, return 10 plus 5. Here expressions with literals being returned, and return a, here a is a variable, right? So variable being returned in this statement, and return double asterisk 4. A is a variable, 4 is a literal. So here an expression with variable and a literal is returned. And the last one, a plus b slash c, a, b, c are variables. So expression with variable being returned. So what are user-defined functions? Functions which are created by the programmer for performing some particular task, right? Now these user-defined functions can be a function with no arguments and no return, functions with no argument but return value, function with argument and with no return, function with argument and with a return value. So let's discuss all these function types with some examples. Here is an example for void function. So what is void function? A function without a return statement is known as a void function, right? So here I have created a function called welcome, and in this welcome there is no parameter inside. Okay, so no parameters, and there is no return statement also. Okay, so def welcome, and there are two statements inside, print welcome my dear students, print have a cheerful day, and I'm calling the function. So when the function is called, what will happen? These two statements only will be printed. So this is an example for no parameters and no return statement also. There is no return keyword here. So this function does not contain a return statement. So this is known example for a void function. More examples for void functions. Look at this function called welcome, div welcome. There is no argument here, and inside the body there is no return statement also. We have only one print statement, right? Now I have called the first statement is function call. It is welcome. So what will happen? It will go to the function definition and it will execute the body of the function, which is print welcome to function. So welcome to function will get printed. But when the function call is inside the print statement, here the output is welcome to function, and one more line, a word called none is printed. So why this none is printed? Because there is no return statement. When there is no return statement, so what it will return? It will just print none. Okay, so when there is no return statement and when you are asking to print the return value, so it will not raise an error. Instead, Python will print none. Okay, and the next also you can see def welcome. So here there is a return statement, return welcome to function. So when there is a return statement, Python will not print none. Is that clear? This is an example of a function with parameters and no return values. Okay, and when there are parameters in the function definition, if there is more than one parameter, the parameters should be separated by commas. Okay, and the value for these parameters will be passed at the time of function call. So look at the function which I have defined here. The name of the function is square, def square. How many parameters are there? There is one parameter called num, and there is no return statement. We have only a print statement. Okay, and n is equal to int of input of enter a number. We are receiving the input from the user at runtime, and square of n is the function call which n will be passed to the parameter num. So if the input is 10, 10 will be passed to the parameter num at function call, and it will print square as 100. Right? So this is an example for function with parameters and no return values. And if the function call is inside the print statement, so since there is no return statement here, along with the output square, it will print none also. Okay. Let's now discuss about functions with parameters and with return values. So how to return values from a function? Yes, absolutely correct, with a return statement. Okay, so the return value must be used at the calling place. So the function will return one value. Okay, this return value can be used in the main program at the calling place, either storing it in a variable or using with print statement, or you can use in any expression. Okay, let's have a look at some examples. So here the first example is def cube. The name of the function is cube, and the parameter used here is num, and it is returning num asterisk num asterisk num. So in the main program C, the function call is assigned to a variable called C, and we are printing that C as output. So the function call can be assigned to a variable when there is a return statement. Okay, so this is an example for function with argument and with a return statement. Some more examples for functions with parameter and return values. Okay, so the first one is def cube of num. So cube is the name of the function with one parameter num. There is a return statement, and look at the main program n1. We are receiving the input, and the function call here is inside a print statement. So function call is cube of n1. We are passing one argument because there is one parameter. Okay, so function call is inside the print statement here. The next one, the function call is with an expression, and it is stored in a value. So val is equal to n1 plus function call. So it is in an expression. And the last one is the function call is assigned to a variable, and then you are printing the variable. So you can have a function call in a program either inside a print statement or storing it in a variable or in an expression. All these forms are allowed. Now this function definition, the name of the function definition is area, and this one parameter, okay, which is known as r, and inside we are calculating a is equal to math.pi. So pi is a mathematical function. So to use this function you have to import the math module. So the math module, any modules should be imported before the function definition itself. So first write import math and then start defining the function, and when you are using that particular function from that module, name of the module dot function math.pi should be used and written. Okay, so this is how you can use a module inside a function, right? And one more thing, see, the return statement ends a function execution. Okay, so if in a function definition, if you have 4 statements and if the last statement is return statement, function ends there. Suppose if the return statement is before the last statement, function execution stops there. Okay, so anything written below return statement will become unexecutable code, unreachable code. So you have to be very careful while using return statements. Look at this example, def max x comma y. So if x is greater than y, return x, else return y. Print I am not reachable. In this case, if the condition is true, return x will get executed, so the print statement will not get executed, and if the condition is false, again return y will get executed, the last print will not get executed at all. So you have to be careful while you are using the return statement also, because the return statement ends the function execution. Hope you have enjoyed learning the concepts call by value, call by reference mechanisms, the types of functions and the function calls. Thanks for watching my video. For updates, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Enjoy learning computer science. This is Athena DJ signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.